Hello, this is Dean Phoenix, back on the path with my Piercing Cold playthrough. This is the New Game Plus low-level Piercing Cold playthrough, and at the end of the last episode, short episode, delayed recovery had stopped working with Superior Blizzard for some reason. So I've had to redo a couple of the story missions, didn't really bother doing the contracts. That was more just for, last time that was more just for something a little bit different to do, and to fight some more of the monsters, so I don't really need to have done those for level or gameplay wise. So I've just done the quest where you have to have Ciri fighting the Basilisk and things like that again, and I'm just going to continue with the quests, and I've decided I'm going to do Wild at Heart because Wild at Heart's quite a fun one, and it also shows how effectively you can beat werewolves with the correct tactics and things like that. So I'm just going to start doing this and go from there. So using the Griffin Mastercrafted set, which obviously is a ton of fun because of its 6 set bonus. So this is the Grandmaster Griffin set, which I'd made before starting New Game Plus. Even though I was starting New Game Plus at a much lower level, I made sure that I'd crafted this set and brought it with me so that I could use it in New Game Plus when I got to level 40. So I started this playthrough at level 31. The reason I started as low as possible, if you've watched the previous episodes, is because Piercing Cold starts to become a lot less effective the higher level you get. And the reason for that is that the enemy sign resistance gets extremely high at higher levels. So you can have a low level playthrough where Piercing Cold remains effective for longer. So this is the build that we've got currently, using Piercing Cold, bunch of sign skills as well, and right now we've got Poison Blades, Protective Coating, Delayed Recovery, with Synergy and Acquired Tolerance. Now most of the time I have actually been swapping out Poison Blades, so I'll just get a little bit of extra boost to my sign intensity by putting Firestream there instead. Not been using Firestream a whole lot, but it can be relatively useful against some things like golems and things like that. So alright, so we just have to go exploring in the woods, and this is a delayed recovery playthrough. Now normally I wouldn't use delayed recovery, I think there are better options. Usually you're better off using fast metabolism, you can accomplish much the same sort of thing. So not too bothered about that most of the time, but I fancied having a delayed recovery playthrough as well, because it can be quite effective, and this playthrough I've been using it with Acquired Tolerance as well. So as we'll find out with these pack of wolves, you'll see why this Piercing Cold setup is particularly effective. So we're just going to get our beast oil on the steel sword, and then we'll tank up on our potions, all of which will remain effective, and will remain active because of delayed recovery. So we're just going to start off with Magic Trap, and then we can just start off with Piercing Cold, and it does damage directly and also has a chance to insta-kill, and we have the really high stamina regeneration as well. So as you can see, we get the slowdown effect from Superior Blizzard as well, and do huge damage just with Aard without even having to be near enough the enemies to actually kill them. And we can double cast it because of the Grandmaster Griffin bonuses. So yeah, extremely effective when you do things like that. And that's why this playthrough is such a lot of fun. Yeah, what's going on? We wonder. Strange that she doesn't seem to be bothered. Just going to check that everything's coming through on the audio correctly, because I have had it before where I've recorded large amounts of it and then realised that actually there was no voiceover on it, so we'll have to have a see here, and it seems to be correct, so should be alright there. Right, so killed these things, and again you can just see how the build actually works. Interesting. Yeah, that's what Geralt says as well. This is getting interesting. Alright. So what else have we got? Have I inspected this already? Yeah, okay, so those claw marks are just the same thing. So I'm sure you've figured it out already if you haven't seen this quest already, but Pretty easy to figure out what's gone on. Can you inspect these or just have to follow them? There's some other stuff somewhere you have to find. Ah, there you go. Yep.
Blood and paw marks. Wonder why they need to climb the tree. I can't get up there. Maybe find something else.
Now there's a... This bit's really irritating. There's like a tiny fragment that you have to find. There it is. And you find it from there. Why is delayed recovery not working again? Oh, that's irritating. Still at 76%. It was working because I retested it after... See, Black Blood and Swallow are still working, but for some reason Superior Blizzard isn't. That's really weird. Let's see if I can get it working again. But if not, I might just respec out of delayed recovery, because as fun as it is, I can do pretty much the same thing with fast metabolism if I need to. So I can always do that. We'll see. Where are we at? But yeah, Superior Blizzard should be sort of continuing to be active because of delayed recovery. But I'm not replaying that whole section from a manual save again. That was just ridiculous. So.
Looks like a hunter's quarters.
Path goes down there. We'll just kill this bear first. Get an enormous amount of ignis sign damage and burn damage from that as well. See, so there now Blizzard does seem to be lasting a little bit, but it's really weird. Very strange. Well, it remained active for the most part, it seems, so... What time are we at? 7:40? I'll probably have to meditate just for this bit, so... We'll see. Grab all this stuff first. Meditate afterwards. And then we can take on the werewolf when he appears. And also... deal with the rest of it. Right, so we're just going to meditate. And then we need to take this thing out. So we're going to need cursed oil. And then we'll get our potions going again. One of the absolute best things to use against the werewolves is the Moondust Bomb, which can be extremely useful because it stops their regenerating. Alright. And there it comes. So first things first, just going to hit it with the Moondust so it stops the regeneration. And then most of what I want to be doing here is just keeping up the Erden, and then we can kill the wolves with the piercing cold as well. So you can see there that they instantly died a lot of the time, and we can actually hurt the werewolf as well with this. So it's quite effective because you can do a ton of damage to him without actually being anywhere near him, which avoids all of his dangerous attacks. So always a good thing there. And then we realise that Hannah is in fact absolutely insane and that she baited Neelan into killing his wife. And so he tries to take her out. So, you know, you could choose to let her die and avoid this second fight. But no point two people dying, unfortunately. And he is a monster in the strictest sense. So you can see there that we don't really take a lot of damage anyway. And we can just do a ton of burning to him. Yeah, not the best. But can't really have monsters killing people, even if you sort of agree with their motives. Right, so that's Wild at Heart all taken care of. I remember when I first did this, when I first played the game, it wasn't even on Deathmatch. On my first playthrough, before I'd figured out the mechanics and all that kind of stuff. I really did think that this was quite a difficult quest, and I found that quite tricky. And when I came to do it on Deathmatch on my second playthrough, and I had like a lot better idea of how to actually play the game, found it a lot easier. Yeah, so again, Superior Blizzard not working properly. I don't know why that is. Must be a bug really, because it was working properly, because I've watched back the earlier episodes and nothing's changed. And then I reloaded the save and I went forward again, so I just can't figure it out. There may be some strange other quirk to do with it, but yeah, no big deal. I may just respec out of delayed recovery, because if it's not working with Superior Blizzard, then it's definitely not worth it. But let's see what else we've got to do. So I can carry on with the Novigrad quest now. Also got the Velen players there. Fall of House Ridden, that one's pretty easy. I don't think that's particularly close though. So again, I'll probably just leave that be. Don't really need to do that one. And we've got Return to Crookback Bog, so I think I'll probably start with that. So I'm just going to fast travel, because otherwise this will take a really long time. Let's go back to Downwarren. Yeah, so I cannot figure out why Superior Blizzard isn't working with delayed recovery any longer. It definitely was working again after I redid those quests of the Barons. So I don't know if something in that quest maybe stops it working for whatever bizarre reason. There are a couple of weird little bugs like that. Maybe something else I'm overlooking, but it definitely should be working. Which is a little bit frustrating. But again, that's one of the main draws of actually using delayed recovery. So if that's not the case, then and Superior Blizzard's not going to be working, then I may revisit whether I actually want to keep using delayed recovery in the first place. So I may just respec depending on what we do. Anyway, toxicity's almost gone there, so I'm just going to meditate again. Could use white honey instead, but it's not really an issue. I've got a ton of alcohol anyway. And take these things out. So most of the enemies in this are drowners and necrophages. Drowners and warthags, so they're all necrophages. Maybe the odd foglet. There's Nalghoul over there, if you're that collection of buildings just to the left here of Downwarren. If you need to try and get lesser red mutagens, that's one of the best places. You can fast travel and that Alghoul will normally respawn. And one of the few enemies in Velen that can actually drop a lesser red mutagen. So just bear that in mind. And we're just going to get ready to take these things out. Got my necrophage oil at the ready. And sure enough, we'll soon get ambushed by necrophages, no doubt. Pretty much when you go through this gate, if I remember. Okay, so there's that magic trap. And now we're just going to tank up on the potions again. And then burn the hell out of everything with Igni. And when I've got them all burning, I'll take a ton of damage there. And then I can start Aard sweeping everything for extra damage like that. You can see that with Griffin Skull techniques and the stamina regeneration, it's such quick regeneration that you can very, very easily take things out, even from great distance. And with the Grandmaster Griffin armor and it's double cast of Aard, you can quickly double up on that as well. So you can actually deal an absolute ton of damage very, very quickly with this setup, which is why it's such a fun build to play. As you can see, just destroyed them all without really even getting close, so it's quite a fun and relatively unique type of magic heavy build. But again, doesn't really work in New Game Plus a lot of the time. What I am just going to do is I can make use of this by swapping out one of these potions here so that if Blizzard does run out I can quickly just get it active again. I'll have to meditate a little bit more to do that, and it is a little bit frustrating that delayed recovery is not working as it's supposed to be, but we'll see there. So we've got a Rot Fiend there as well, but we can easily take these out. And it's pretty easy just to take these things out. I have to be careful with Piercing Cold with the Rot Fiends, because as you can see there, it actually does like a pretty sizable chunk of damage. If you kill the Rot Fiends, they still count as exploding because they're not knocked down. If you kill them and they instantly die with Aard Sweep. So it's a good job I had coin up there, because otherwise I would have took a ton of damage from that. So something else to bear in mind. Amazing that you can still learn new things about the mechanics and, you know, remember things like that. So here is the actual village. And you can see that there are some people already fighting. So I'll just get a bit of help with them with the northern wind. And that'll let me freeze these guys. Also makes things easier to knock over. And get everything active there. And again, you see the instant kill there where the Drowner just died straight away. That was because Piercing Cold has a 25% chance of killing enemies outright as well, so pretty cool. So I just talked to Tamara. She tells her dad to get stuffed because he's not interested and all that kind of stuff. Right, and we're just going to go through all this kind of stuff. So we're just going to skip through, blah, 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 blah. Got to find Anna. And then make the decision what we're going to do here. Something a little bit bigger is coming this way. Yeah, we can see that Superior Blizzards run out again. It's very annoying that being the case. So what else is working? Maribor's still working. Petri Filter, they'll run out in a sec, so they should stay active. But it seems like delayed recovery is just not working properly. Like there should be more things active, and I can't quite put my finger on why that is the case. But let's have a look. Had Petri active anyway, but and full moon. So anyway, we'll get this on, and then we'll set up the magic track because that helps a little bit as well. And then we can just burn things with Igni, and then I'll set about laying waste to everything with Aard again. Alright, so just make sure that we've got a ton of damage coming, and you can have 2 Erden traps as well because I have the Erden skill that has that. And you can see that they're actually taking bleeding damage as well, all of the necrophages, and that's because we have Black Blood active at the same time. And even when they do get to stand up, they get instantly obliterated like by that, which is pretty cool. And then soon enough, the Fiend's going to show up too, and there it is. So I'll just get Magic Trap down for that. Keep going up. But I can burn this thing pretty easily with the high sign intensity, and that'll do a ton of damage. You can see that because Igni is largely based on the HP of the enemy, it does an absolute ton as well. Even though the actual Aard itself wouldn't do a lot of damage, you can see it does a little bit, but not much. And it just really slows it down so that you can get hits in like that. But what I can do is just keep using Igni instead. And also, if I wanted, I could use the broadhead bolts to be able to inflict bleeding. And the fire damage is more than enough to be able to take this thing out. So that's why it's useful to have Igni as well as Aard for doing things like that. I actually got a Fiend mutagen, which I think I was missing last time, if I remember. Alright. That's all that stuff sorted. Alright. It's not really going to work this anyway. But, you know, might as well try. This is normally the ending I go for. Like, there are other decisions you can make, but I have a different outcome to the Baron's Quest. A very tragic outcome. If you've never done that. Interesting thing to try and do instead. 100 crowns for all that. What an absolute waste. Anyway. That was all that sorted. Good fun. Right, so that's everything all taken care of there. Quite a fun little quest. Especially fighting the Fiend at the end and everything else. And then we can carry on. So where are we going now? Let's find out. We've got Yennefer on Hindisfjall, or we can go and carry on with the rest of the stuff there. Need to get a card from the Soothsayer. That's a little bit out of the way. But I suppose I could do that. And then go and carry on with the rest of the Novigrad quests. It's probably the way I should go next. So, quite a little way to travel there. Probably could have fast travelled it, but it'll be alright like this. Let's take a swing at a foglet, why not? You can fight like a lot of different things here, and the lower level foglets there, they're normally quite manageable level. And you can get the foglet mutagen very early from them. And foglet mutagen is actually quite useful early on in the game because it always counts as being cloudy and velen. So it's like basically it's a permanent 25% boost to your sign intensity whenever it's active, which early in the game can, before you've got a lot of skills and you can boost your greater blue mutagens and things like that, does actually make a big difference. So the foglet mutagen is one that's quite not as good late game, but it's quite useful early game. So if you can kill one of those low level foglets and get that mutagen, sometimes worth doing. But they can be quite challenging enemies, particularly on Death March before you've got a lot of skills and things. They're quite damaging enemies. So if you're going to do that, you do have to be careful when you try and do it. Right, so we're just going to come over here. Then we'll do Fall of House Ridden. Is that going to be a wolf, or is that something more interesting? Oh, bear. I don't really need to do that. Oh, we're not doing the... yeah, we're doing the Soothsayer, not the Fall of House Ridden. So we'll do this bit. There's a quest for him as well, but I don't really remember what you get from it, and it's not really worth doing, so I'll just play him at Gwent. Okay, so play this guy. Again, in this playthrough I did a bunch of the things out of order so that I could use the I could get some really powerful cards and things like that very early on. And was using that. As you can see there, I've got an absolute ton of really powerful cards straight away, so that's useful. And I've got all of my spies as well, got all three of those. And so using all three of these, I'll probably get Mysterious Elf. I'll probably have about as many draws as you can possibly have, which is pretty cool. I do have one Biting Frost in the deck, so that if you do pull in a load of cards like this, or you're fighting the monsters deck, you do have a chance of getting the Biting Frost as well. So I'd need 20 points to beat him, so I think the easiest way for me to do that is just to Scorch this card first. And then play these two 10s. and win from the tie. And then I can play my other spy, and I've got my biting frost there as well, which will be quite useful. So I'm going to try and get them to use their leader ability and use that up, because that doubles the combat row for them. And then I can use the biting frost, so they have to use up a ton of cards, otherwise I'd just win anyway. I should be able to very easily win this, because what I'm going to do is they've got over 10 cards on that row now, so I can put them all down to 1 score. And because they're all equal value of 2, I can now completely destroy that and take away all of their cards, which is why it's so useful having a biting frost in the deck. And then again, I can either use the decoy in round 3 and then use the medic in round 3 and then use the decoy, or I can decoy Villain Tretometh straight away there. And the reason that I've done that is so that I can just win that way. I'm actually just obviously I could win anyway, but instead I'm just going to do it this way because it's more fun. And see what their last card was. And what score I would have ended up with as well, which is quite fun. I've been playing any Gwent recently, so always fun to rack up some huge scores. This is the great thing about the Nilfgaard deck, you can just outlast your opponents quite easily. And quite easily rack up some pretty high scores. You can consistently get over 100 with it and have, you know, pasted your opponent just by having more cards in them as well, which is good fun. If you're trying to get the monster deck, that's a really important one to get, the Crone Weavers card. Because the Crones, you know, you play 1 card and you get 18 score, which is extremely useful. The only one better than that is when you have all the vampires, and you can't get all of the vampires until you go to Skellige, really. So, really important that way. And good fun. Okay. Right. Let me have a look. Right, let me see. Where are we going now? So, we've got Count Reuben's treasure, and we've got Get Junior as well. I don't think there's any side quests. I mean, some of these are quite good, but I don't really feel like doing them, particularly in this playthrough. Got the volunteer, but that'll just be sparing the troll anyway. So again, is there really much need for that? Not really. Probably just go and speak to Cleaver. Woodland Beast, that's a really boring one. Merry Widow. So these are the ones that I'd done last time. But I had to go back to the manual save. And there's no point doing that because the footage of me doing those will still be in the original quest. So not much point doing that. Where are we at? So we've got Deadly Delights, White Lady. Again, might as well just do some of the actual Skellige stuff first. Alright, so we're just going to carry on. Now that is a really, really, really long way to travel. So instead we're just going to fast travel from the village. It'll take a lot less time. And see how we go. Should be a marker over here somewhere from what I remember. Ah, this is yeah, this is the Royal Wyvern contract. I might do that one later, so I might as well talk to him now. Not that I really need the money or anything, but you might as well haggle a little bit with these. I remember doing that Phantom of the Trade Route contract really early. It's like a level 20 something quest, but I went and did it at level 11 on my first playthrough for some reason. Wasn't once you figure things out, it gets pretty easy anyway, the game. So, and I wasn't even on deathmatch on that first playthrough. It's not a tricky game though, so it's not a difficult game at all. So Especially once you figure things out, deathmatch is pretty manageable. Let me have a look. Just want to be getting through this and doing the cleaver bits now. The only problem is if you go and speak to cleavers dwarves, then you don't get to do the arena bit, and you don't get to play Gwent. Not that you get anything in particular for playing the Gwent, but I love playing Gwent. So I'll do the casino bit and play people at Gwent, I think. And then I'll go and do the arena bit with the actual dwarves. That should be fine. Any needs, master? Right, so talk to Cleaver first. This is optional, but you would fail the quest if you didn't. I don't like having failed quests. Although I do have one because I'd ignored one of the White Orchard quests, because I'm not that fussed about doing all the side quests in this one, so it doesn't really matter. Ow. Alright. So just do this bit first. It actually makes some of the bits shorter but a little more boring, like the arena. You don't get to do the whole arena bit if you go with the dwarves. Like I say, you don't get to play Gwent in the casino if you do that. I like playing Gwent, so I'm just going to play the Gwent for this bit and then we'll go. So we'll ignore the dwarves for this bit. Then I'll go and smash them at the other section instead. Normally some thugs around there, so fortunately not this time. Not that it would be very difficult for me to beat them or anything, but you know. Have I done the plays the thing yet? I don't think I have. That's a pretty irritating quest, but never mind. Now if I remember, I've actually got my full deck now, so I can play these guys. There's no other Nilfgaard cards I need because I've got my Nilfgaard leader card and all that stuff. So I might as well play these guys at Gwent. It's really fun having Relentless the whole time because normally you get it really late, and it's much better that way. So I had all 3 decoys and all 3 spies there. That's quite fun. He's playing Northern Realms, so I may make good use of those. Let's have a go. This guy's a really weak deck if I remember anyway. Like a really weak deck from the look. Okay, so don't really need very much to beat him. Especially, like I say, since he does seem to have an extremely weak deck. Might as well just get rid of those. And again, this will be pretty easy. I love the Nilfgaard deck, it's so much fun. Could have actually taken one of the higher score spies back so that Bill and Truck on their side, but doesn't really matter. Again, I got all this stuff, so can win very easily. So yeah, 116, not bad at all. So we're going to take out this guy. Well, Gwent-wise anyway. He's got a pretty good deck if I remember correctly. He's got a lot better deck than the other fellow. Let's see. So, monsters deck. I've not got any of my spies, which is a bit tricky. I'll have to try and win from through brute force. I do have Villain Tretameth, but again, didn't get any decoys, which is also a bit unfortunate. We'll see how high we can get. I've got all 4 of these, so that should be pretty good. Ooh, Mysterious Elf as well. That's a bit brutal. That's a bit nasty. Okay, so there's one down. They've got a big advantage in cards, but I actually have quite a fun thing I can do here where I can take their Villain Tretameth itself, and so I have 2 of them to play. And he's just wasted his leader ability, which will be great. So, just going to play these first. Impenetrable Fog, fortunately doesn't matter. Then we'll just have to see what sort of score he's got there. So straight away I can take these out, which is great. Got the Leshen there. I can recall 2 of these, and then I'll be able to double up that row as well to get a little more score, which will be good. It'll mainly just depend on what their last cards are. If they have the Vampire, then it'll score quite highly. But it depends what they are, so. Double those up. And then we'll see what their last 2 cards are. So we still win. I love that you can do things like that with Relentless. Like there, I was able to take that second Villain Tretameth card and use it again. It's so much fun. So even when you get like a less than ideal draw, and you didn't get any spies there, like because there are so many other good cards in the deck, we were fine with that. So pretty cool. Very rarely do this actually playing the Gwent. So in this bit, I normally just go in with the dwarves because it takes less time. But let's have a look. Screw it. Oh, I got loads of money anyway, and I like playing Gwent, so. Let's play these dudes. Who can we play here? Oh, these are upstairs then. Steel ingot, how exciting. Let's play some Gwent.
Nope, no monster. Clever man. I do. Just want to play.
Ooh, big wages. See how we do. So yeah, you can wager very highly in these games. You get any of my spies? No spies there. I do get one there, which is excellent. Not an encouraging start for them. That's a downright weird one, but never mind. I could play Yen, but that's a bit of a waste of a medic, so instead I'll just take one of these off, make them waste another turn. And I'll win these subsequent rounds instead. I'll be able to play both of these, and if these are still the highest scoring card at that point, I'll be able to scorch them and get rid of them. Or indeed just use the Biting Frost, which will be a better way to go. And then win very easily and still have a ton more cards in them as well. So, let's see what we've got to work with here. Got a decoy as well, which is really useful because, as I was just about to say, if they play one back, then I can take it again. And have even more cards. Still got a 4-card lead before I even play this one. I like having at least one Scorch in the deck as well. It's very useful, particularly against the Northern Realms. Like, less important against Nilfgaard and things, but very, very good against Northern Realms. Ha! And that's going to let me replay that if I need it as well. I don't want to double it up if I can help it, so I'll just see how we go first with these. Okay, so they've got 74, so I'll just see what my score comes out as after I've played these. I should win anyway. Yeah. So yeah, I could play that spy back. It's a bit of a risk. Well, not really actually, because if I play these, that's 17. And if I play that spy, it's going to give them 18, so I should still win. Especially because then I get to scorch it and then double up my own. So just add insult to serious injury and score 165 just for a laugh. But yeah, I would have won that one anyway, so no real need for me to play those last 2 cards if I wanted. Very good.
Don't you have to be somewhere?
That's why it's good fun using this kind of deck.
This and
Got the corner.
oh my! I spoke. You find. Take him.
Oh no! I want to play Gwent. Stop it! Oh, that's irritating. Screw that! I want to play Gwent. Where's my thing? No! I'm going to see if I can actually replay these guys. I can't remember what the actual options are, but anyway.
Yet she did direct him to Kareem Tilly, an Oneromancer and an expert at finding the lost and the missing. Guided by Kareem Tilly, the Witcher had a dream. In it, Ciri and I, the bard Dandelion, were united. Geralt now knew that to find Ciri, he would...
Right, so let's play these dudes at Gwent. Let me just see. So we're at the Corinne Tilly part of the story still. That's weird. That's strange. Do 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 do. Okay. I want to play these guys because that was quite a challenging match of Gwent, and I like having stuff like that, so. Let me just see if I can beat these guys. This is obviously post-Christmas, so apologies for the, little break in the videos of this playthrough. I've just got some stuff going on recently, family things and stuff like that, so won't be able to put the videos quite as regularly. But I'll try and get through them when I get a chance to play and stuff like that. I should be able to hopefully finish this playthrough. Let's try this again then. Try that again. Might talk to the other guy first. See if I can play him. I think you can play all three people though, it's just choosing the right action. There you go. It's another high stakes one. Let's go again. Oh, got all three spies again, fantastic. See, a lot of the time you do get, multiple spies from doing that, so I'll go with that. The thing about the Scoia'tael deck is they often have medics, so they'll replay your own spies against you. And obviously they can have decoys as well, like that. I have a decoy of my own, so when they play that one, I'll be able to do it and all this kind of stuff. Play all these first. Obviously there's a pretty decent chance that I get the Biting Frost card as well that's in my deck. I've only got one of those in there, but it is useful in most scenarios. And there it is. And this is why. So you can win that with just 2 cards. Now since I'm going to be passing the next round anyway, it doesn't really matter about playing this 4 strength card just yet. So I'll play this one first. Depending on how this round goes will influence which of the spy cards I take from their deck. I might as well just take this one again, because like I say, I'll be deliberately punting on this round anyway. Okay, so I can scorch this one. If they have any medics, they'll play a spy themselves in a minute, but I can take Vil and Tretameth off the board and then scorch all of their 6 strength ones, which is why I've just taken Vil first with the decoy. Now, because they played that one instead, what I'll just do is I'll get rid of this. That'll make them use some more cards. And then be able to use it, because I'm going to be, probably losing this round anyway, by design. But I can just make them waste a bunch of cards first. then probably win it with the next lot. Just play that for the extra 1 score, might as well. But the real goal there was playing the Villain Tretameth card. Amazing card that. It's so good. Now I want to avoid playing my own 10 strength cards at the minute. Because if they were to play a spy and they play the 9 strength one back on my side, I could scorch it and then play it with a medic again. So I'm just going to lay off doing that for now. Okay, so that's all their cards gone. That 7th strength and 8th strength one are the 2 highest cards on the board, so if I scorch that, it'll get rid of their Villain Tretameth. Then this will let me play my own back and get rid of the 7th strength one. And then they have no cards or recourses left to deal with all these cards of mine anyway. So again, these are going to get doubled up. That's 89. And then another 15 on top of that. I do love the Nilfgaard deck. Not that I've said it enough during this playthrough, as you probably recognised, but yeah. Make some nice money this way. I really don't think this is high stakes. If I remember correctly, then they try and take you out instead. Oh well, never mind. We tried our best. Ruh-roh. Instant kill, instant kill. Silly people. Wrecked. Silly beggars. Hey, can I go and play these guys downstairs? I still want to play Gwent. Let's see. Ah, that's no fun. I wanted to play more Gwent. That's very annoying. Never mind. Oh well. Ruh-roh. Had exploding shield there, as you can see. So many quick casts of Aard. Could just finish him off normally, obviously. But much more fun to do that. Especially with the instant deaths that you can get. Oh, except this guy. Why is he stood there? That's weird. He's the only one with any sense, apparently. Again, piercing cold at its absolute best. Massacring human enemies. Magic trap quite useful there as well, you know, for like stopping people in the tracks, as you see there. Even though it doesn't do like a ton of... Alright, so loot all this stuff, talk to this guy. That was fun.
You alive?
Gwent and piercing cold. What is not to love? Alright. Alright. Let this guy go and all that. I wonder if he does. I can't believe that guy's just stood there after I've murdered all of his friends. To be fair, everything about it, so yeah, probably wise. Oh yeah. Where's the Cleaver one? Gangs of Novigrad. Where are the ones for the casino? There we go. Do.
Waiting for me. Nope.
Alright, so we go and find these guys at the arena. Take them out. Oh, can we not go that way? This way maybe? Yes, we go this way. Cool.
Cleaver sent. Let's
This bit's pretty fun. The dwarves are quite useful for when you try and take on the arena. The arena bit's quite useful as well in its own right, but it's a little easier this way, I find. Kill these guys again. Get some nice swords to sell later as well. And these dudes are nice and easy to take out, so. Again, take these guys out. Keep that guy stunned with Aard until we kill the others. And then we actually have Fire Stream, which is very useful for these guys with shields. Sets them burning, does a good chunk of damage. And let them finish it off. Instant death. More instant death. Different kind of instant death. And then you've got a massive amount of people here. But again, they will all fall to the power of piercing cold. Wow. Oh my days. This is why this build is so phenomenally powerful against like certain types of enemies. Just leaves them utterly defenseless. Well, that was interesting. Not quite sure how that's going to have picked up on stream, but what you just saw there was occasionally with piercing cold. I've only ever seen it happen at hand spaces, but if you have so many enemies on the screen, then sometimes it'll glitch out and the game can't handle it. Slight downside of using a piercing cold build. Not had so many enemies on screen at the one time. That's a bit frustrating. Oh well. How bizarre. Hopefully that still picks up on the rest of the stream and I can upload it like normal. How crazy. Anyway, so yeah. It's a bit difficult sometimes. Well, that was irritating. Never mind, we'll just have to get through all this again. Console loading screens, always fun. Wow, that's really frustrating. Oh well. Let's try that again. So yeah, sometimes when you have so much stuff going on at one time, you can get a bit stuck. Oh well, just wait for this to load and go through it. Yeah, so I guess that's something that I really maybe should mention, that will sometimes happen if you're running piercing cold and you've just got that much stuff going on. It's not often a concern. Never mind, just gotta wait for this to load and then go back on it. Sorry for the loading screens, especially since it's actually out of my control for once.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh well. Still don't have to go back too far.
You don't. Shh. Bones. Will you?
Alright, so again, sort this stuff out, let him go,
Take it. Thanks.
and then off we go.
Wonder if Dijkstra knows Junior's made a deal with the Redanians.
I wonder if he does. We say again for the second time. I love how that guy's just still stood there. Oh, these guys are back now. Okay. Not like it matters. Let's kill these guys and then find out what they want. No, go away. Time to die, chumps. All dead. Honestly, this build is so much fun. I know I just keep saying that, but it really is. Especially something for a little bit different, and especially because, you know, Piercing Cold has normally stopped working by this time, so it's quite a lot of fun to go through it like that. Oh, where's he there from? Never mind, he's gone now. Where was it we went last time? Right, let's try this again without the crashing, hopefully.
Cleavers.
Let's go. What have I got? Hangman's Venom? Yep, that works. Cool. Thought it had crashed again then. Right, let's tank up on these potions again. Nope. You die. Fire damage in the dwarves, take care of him. They're very effective at that, they do a lot of damage. Right, let's take these guys out again. I think the dwarves can get killed if you... well, I know they can get killed, depending on how you do it, but... Move, you tit. And again, just kill these guys. And again, they just do a ton of damage to them, so it's quite useful for that. Time to die, dudes. Big load of damage to these again. And again, the dwarves take them out afterwards. And this is where we came unstuck last time. Let's try this again. A little bit too much going on. And to try and make it not crash next time, let's just finish these guys off with fire damage instead. Interesting thing you can do with Firestream actually is like... Wow, that's frustrating. Okay, that was weird because everybody was pretty much dead then, so like it should have been able to keep up with it. What I think I'll probably have to do instead is just kill them with swords as much as possible. Maybe set them to burning after that, who knows. Right, to avoid having pointlessly large amounts of loading screens, I'm actually going to end that episode there, and we'll pick it up at the start of that as the start of the next episode there a little bit later on. So aside from Piercing Cold actually breaking the game because it kills too many people too quickly in that bit, what I will do is I will say, if you've watched through to the end of the episode, thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe and all that good stuff, and we'll pick it up next time and hopefully be able to get through it without the game crashing in its entirety. So thank you very much for watching, and you all have a good day on the path.